chaos at this point. All
Gotta be it.
right.
I'm ready.
Perfect. I have water because I was so unprepared. Um
I needed it after the series of tantrums that, yeah, anyways. Okay, yeah.
the little ones. All right. I'm assuming folks will filter in. This is going to be recorded, so if you miss it, it will be here forever and you can look at it whenever you feel the need to. I am here with Elizabeth Stevens.
Sorry.
The author of All Superheroes Need PR. Right? I sometimes like transpose some of the words.
Nice.
Listen, it's sexy, it's amazing. We read it in Patreon. And then I have some questions from some folks who are very excited about it. So I guess we'll just like jump into it and you know.
I am beyond grateful and just flabbergasted that all y'all read my bizarre, strange attempt at a contemporary romance. So thank you again.
It was perfect because I was like, you're such a great author for me as a reader because I'm like, I don't think I like that. And then you write it and I'm like, turns out that's exactly what I needed. Like put it into my veins. So
that's actually a lot of what I try to do. I write stuff that like with Bonker season 4, like I have never written like a real non-con. I flirted with a lot of dub con, like non-con that has to do with like power imbalances or miscommunications or cultural misunderstandings, but like to do a proper non-con. So anyway, so that's just like in case anyone wanted to know. Yeah.
Listen, y'all are so excited.
That freaks me out and scares me.
I find that the best books I write are on that edge of fear where I'm like, am I going too far?
Right.
And I'm just gonna ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Exactly.
Okay, so our first question is from Nicole, and she says, did anything change drastically from your original idea when writing this? And if so, what?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough question only because I'm a pantser and so kind of everything changes. But
fair.
The kind of like monster transition element I knew I always wanted, but because for those that probably don't know, my like foray into traditional publishing actually attempted to start with Dark City Omega, which my agent was not like super convinced about, but still tried to sell it anyways. So props to her. And the editor loved it, but she couldn't get it past like the white old man who signs the checks at Amazon. And
yeah, scary, spooky.
Yeah, exactly.
Alphas, Omegas.
Was horrified by the concept of nodding. And so one thing that changed was that after this was like, you know, after they paid me the advance money without having read a single page of this book, I was like, I'm definitely going to try to throw in a knot and just like as an FU to my publisher. But also, I'm not even sure they read the book because they did not make one fuss about that sneaky knot.
I definitely find that like the direct editor tends to be more like, I'm excited, let's go, as opposed to the people that are like, what do you mean? Like with their, you know, I just picture them like the old man from Knives Out, which he was like not that bad, I guess, but like that, like I just live in my bubble. I don't understand.
Yes.
Will we see more of Vanessa and Roland in future installments in the series?
Well, you
the next book comes out in November.
Yes, so they definitely appear in the book in November. You get lots of cameos, and I'm working really hard right now to try to figure out what's going on next in the series because I made a terrible blunder in that I wrote myself a character who I fell head over heels in love with in book 2. And so now like I have to have a book 3. Otherwise, just like for me personally, that won't like the level of dissatisfaction is just too high to bear.
I definitely joke no side character left behind in my romance series, like often to my detriment. Like I'll try to trick myself and be like, no, they're married. They're married. Their story already exists. And then it's like, oh no.
Suddenly you've got like a second chance romance or something happening years later. Right.
Well, this is conflates. So are there more books planned in the series? Like how many more? And can you tell us what the vibes might be? I know that it's kind of loosey-goosey at the moment.
Yes, it's very loosey-goosey, and this is just, anyways, probably TMI, but I am new to trad and not used to this. So I pitched the series as like a 4 to 6 book series, but of course Montlake has like their own ideas about how many books and when they would need them by and how much money they want to pay me for them and stuff like that. So next time I know that if I sign a 2-book contract, write a complete 2-book series. But yes, there will be, if I have to do it myself, there will be a 3rd book, but possibly a 4th, depending on what happens with my conversations with Montlake in the coming weeks.
Fingers crossed, because I'm like, but there's so many of them. Like, what do you mean we don't get books of every single
I know, right?
superhero alien?
Yeah. Somebody asked me that the other day. They're like, are you writing 100 books in the series? And I was like, no, over my dead body. But
I mean, listen, as somebody who just I mean, everyone else is not there, but I'm out of a 10-book series, and like that's, and you wrote how many in the Aliens series? Like 9?
That was I think a little different than yours, because yours, it's like the cast of characters is kind of set already from book 1, like almost ish.
But yours just like, but it builds on the
series.
It's like that's
more,
just
so
that's a long time to spend in like even multiple worlds with like somewhat consistent rules. To be like, no, give me knots. We deserve them.
I know. That's what I'm struggling with for sure. With like some of my other series, but I would love to do 2 more books in this one.
Fingers crossed. Okay. At the beginning, and with reference to superheroes, Roland's first name was Pyro, and Michelle's brother-in-law told her that there are 2 Pyros in the comics, one in DC and one in Marvel. So the question is, did you notice this? And also, is your favorite DC or Marvel?
Oh my gosh, no. I am actually, it's like funny because I wrote a superhero romance, not necessarily because I'm a superhero like comic book girly, but at the end of the day, I've also like, I've seen all the movies. I didn't really grow up on comic books, to my detriment and shame, but yeah, I literally had no idea. I mean, I've made so many blunders, and I'm also so unimaginative with superhero powers. I'm like, if anybody has superhero power ideas that they want in my books, DM me, because I'm drawing a blank.
I am like, naming things is so hard. So it's like, of course the firepower superhero is going to be named Pyro. Like, is there another option? Like, I don't.
Yes,
I would have named him like Firebrand or something. Like, there's 2 on the nose. Yeah.
I know. I was trying to come up with like a name that I thought was kind of bad for like a hero character. And yeah, like Fireman obviously wouldn't work.
No, and Pyro's so like succinct. Like, it's like it gets the vibe across very effectively. Well, I mean, we already answered that one a little bit. So Roland, after his transformation, seems to look like a demon, and he describes the true form of one of the others as ethereal. I'm a reader, not a speaker. Is there meant to be an implication that these are not the first aliens from their planet who have landed on Earth, and the ones from before were inspirations for stories of angels and demons?
Oh, that's a good theory. But no, I did not have any angel demon inspo in this, but that is kind of like alluding to some of the forms or shapes of some of the characters that I hope to work with in books 3 and 4, like shadow daddy style, but like made of shadows. I think there's like, I don't know how to use that word correctly, but someone who is a shadow person.
Yeah. We know shadow daddy. We got it.
Yeah.
And your last name's pronounced Stevens, right? Or it's not Steffens? Okay, that was the question.
Yes, that's correct.
When Rollo and Nessa are on their date, the talk about underrepresentation in fantasy and sci-fi. Can you give us your favorite in either category or in both? I guess overlap.
In fantasy and sci-fi. Venomous by Penelope Fletcher is like that just like injected straight into my veins. That's like a book that like got me fully invested in like the sci-fi romance train, but it's like,
I'm gonna go buy it right now.
Pages. Yeah, it's phenomenal. You can tell the author was just having a doozy of a time with that book. It's so long, and every second is worth worth it.
Amazing.
Fantasy, what's a good one that I really like? I mean, there's kind of, like Lord of the Wilds and Lord of the Tides, which I'm halfway through now and absolutely adoring. The Blood Trials, really phenomenal writing.
Annie Davenport, I could not be normal about her. Right. I'm like,
yeah, for real.
Her upcoming romantasy is like, wow, like just it's so good.
Yes, I give it to me, please. And then I love Jasmine Silvera. She does like Shifters stuff. She's phenomenal. And yes, those are some of my favorites.
Perfect. I love it. That's my favorite part of like doing these talks. It's like, what have you been reading? What are your favorites? Tell me everything. I would like to buy all the books. Amanda says she loves the audiobook narrators. They were fantastic. Oh God. Yeah, like you did a sample of him and I was like, I'm blushing. Like I don't know what to do.
Yeah, this is actually like a photo ops. The audiobook narrators for me is like my full circle author moment, because the very first time I tried to get an audiobook done by myself was Taken to Viraxia. And I really desperately wanted to work with Sean Krisden, who didn't have availability, or like something didn't work out in our schedules. And that like Montlake was like, what do you think about this narrator? And it was Sean Krisden. I was like, I don't need to hear the sample. It's a yes. And then I heard the sample and I about fell on the floor. Like it's too much.
Oh, that's the best. Like that, and that full circle moment too, of being like, I wanted to work with you, it didn't work out, but now it's working out for like this project. Like hell yeah.
Yeah, for real. So good.
So love this book so much. It's my first book that I've read from you, but how dare we have pineapple and kale in a tamale? Just wondering, do you snack when writing, and what is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, I don't snack when writing, or if I do, I'm having like a beer, or that's probably, or chocolate, something chocolate based. But I thought that it would just be, anyways, I had a lot of fun with her, like Vanessa's blended family. And I thought it would be really fun to just like kind of toy with some, I don't know, some stereotypes and just like kind of turn them upside down, because having just like a Mexican mother who like can't cook for shit is like both a tragedy and I think also pretty hilarious. So I really enjoyed having her there.
I do agree. With the sequel on the way, what aspect of the world you created are you most excited to explore deeper?
Definitely the villains stuff, because there's so much just under the hood there that I really could get like really deep into. And like super teaser, because this is what I'm really trying to get to in book 3, is that we've met like number 3 and number 4 by book 2. I think you meet them actually both in book 1. And I really want to get number 1 and number 2 on the ground, just because, like, they're the backup villains who just cause all the chaos. So
it's like, I love it though, because it's like, hey, you're on this mission, you should do this thing, like, but then everything goes wrong.
Lots of stuff couldn't be accounted for, namely like human nature and the aliens coming to human nature.
Well, yeah, and like sending them when they're so young, like human wise, is so like such a challenging task to be like, I hope you still feel this way in 10 years. Like
right.
No emotions. Good luck. Oh, excuse me. What made you want to start writing, and what story was the first that floated in your head till you wrote it?
My like writing origin story is actually entirely attributed to my mother and American Girl dolls, because I really wanted an American Girl doll when I was the age at which someone has an American Girl doll. And my mom was like, you have to read all the books to get the doll. And so I read all the books about that Great Depression doll or whatever. And then I got Kit, a little blonde doll. But I was like, okay, this is cool, but I want one that looks like me. And of course, there aren't any black dolls. And so they had like the build your own option, but those don't have books. So my mom was like, well, you have to write a story. So I wrote like this little like sci-fi, actually kind of weirdly like a sci-fi romance, you know, as much as like an 11-year-old can write romance, you know, like there was a crush in the book and stuff. And yeah, I got my doll. I finished my little story, and I just never really stopped. Like, it was always just like something I was doing at the end of the night to decompress. So it just stuck with me forever.
Did you ever get into fan fiction? This isn't a question. I'm just curious on like, I mean, because that's not fan fiction. That's you creating your own. But like, I feel like so many authors that are like approximately our age like came up in the fanfic world, and like I missed it entirely. Like I was writing fan fiction like by myself.
Right.
Like I didn't know that there was a whole internet of people out there I could have been talking to.
I'm in exactly the same boat. I get asked that question a lot, and I'm like, no, but if I had known about it, then I obviously would have been there. But like AO3 was like defined me like 2 years ago. Like
yeah, I wrote my first official piece of fanfic that is not finished. Don't ask me, it'll never be finished at this point. Right. Like during the pandemic. Yeah. So I was just like, I think I just need an outlet. And it was lovely and it was amazing, but also like bills. So do you have a personal favorite scene or chapter in this book?
It would, I mean, it's probably the scene where like where he burns Vanessa's house down. That was fun to write and fun to work with. But then there's like, yeah, then there's like anyway, sorry, this is actually my favorite. That was like probably the most emotional scene to write. But then the scene that I actually loved writing the most was the scene where you're watching Vanessa watching the TV, who's watching like Roland go into like the tunnels and the snow and stuff. Yeah. Only because I'd never written an action scene that wasn't actually like in the present, where it was like at a distance. And I actually just had so much fun with, it was kind of cool. Like I was like, whoa, this is like neat, like a different way of writing that I'd never done before. And I feel like after you get to like your 20th book, it's hard to be like surprised by yourself.
It's like you can focus on the emotional component of that scene because she's not able to take action physically, and that makes it so strong. I mean, and also he's just doing it for her. And it's so like, not that she's fully admitting that, but that's what's happening. Like I love him so much. And like his just being like, I just want her to be my wife. 26 dates is enough, right? Like that's how many dates and then you'll marry me. It's like, yes, a man, he is ready. He's goal oriented. We love it.
He is. He's like, give me a number and I will make it to that number.
Yeah. So I mean, we kind of covered this, but like, what inspired you to take the story in an Omegaverse direction towards the end? Or like, I guess expanding upon that, like what draws you to like the Omegaverse components that like show up in your books?
I mean, what's not to like about Omegaverse? It's kind of great. Like Dark City Omega, I specifically love like working with the Omegaverse hierarchy, like the natural dystopian hierarchy it already presents. But then like it's just like knots are just cool. Like who wouldn't want to have one of those if you could build one yourself?
Well, and also like I feel like one of the components that goes into like the subgenre that brushes up against like monster romance is you have to have like something special going on down there one way or another, and like knots fit the bill really well.
Yeah, they're great. I got really weird in Bonkers season 4, so everybody prepare yourself for that.
I'm so fucking excited like for these books, and just it's gonna be so good. What was your inspiration for the book? Like how did you get like superheroes and like the villains and the PR element of it?
I mean, so like kind of the origin for this also was watching. Did you ever watch The Boys or attempt to watch The Boys?
I watched some of it. I feel like I can appreciate what they're doing, but that show, especially season 1, I don't know after that, I didn't watch after that, but felt like it really hated women. And like, but I think I am going to watch the teen, or not teen, but like the academy type one, like Day Generation V or whatever. Because I watched some of that and enjoyed that a lot more because it's a lot more, I don't know, a lot less like white men running around being horrific.
Yeah. No, I watched The Boys. I made it to like episode 4 or 5 before I was like, this is so dark in like the most unpleasant way that I have to stop, because like I now have like a complex and maybe need to see a therapist, because it was so bleak and I was just like, this can't be. And so I actually was like, but I kind of loved the idea that like superheroes would just immediately become like capitalistic tools if they landed on Earth, because duh, that's the terrible world we live in. And
right.
I loved working with that as an idea. And I specifically went like on the internet webs and was like trying to find I was specifically trying to find like places where, like romances where you could have superheroes in an adult romance setting, in an adult fiction setting, and I couldn't find any. I found one actually, and I found Gracie and the Grump by Mariana Zapata, and it didn't have like enough explosions in it. And I was specifically like, I need to rectify this. And so I was like, okay, let me get going. Let me try the superhero thing out. And then I got stuck on superheroes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I default to aliens every time. I was like, they have to be aliens. I couldn't come up
with a consistent brand.
Yeah. Like I know. I got stuck. So they became aliens.
I definitely remember, actually, yeah, it must have been. So I watched like season 1 of The Boys, and I was like, just like, oh, this feels bad. Like, and not in like a fun, I'm challenged way. Just like, I feel like I've been kicked in the teeth for however many episodes. And somebody was like, you need to watch My Hero Academia, because they handle similar content with like less of because it's anime, and it's but it is, and it takes a little slow ramp up to like get to those like deeper in topics and stuff. But like, that's how I ended up with into anime as a whole, was because I watched The Boys and was like, oh, and someone's like, well, no, watch My Hero Academia, because it's a similar type of world, but just less grimdark. And so, but yeah, they kind of grapple with some of those things of like, because the heroes are ranked like similar to yours, and it's like, well, like what happens if the #1 hero goes away, and what happens, like, how do they protect, you know, maybe the #2 hero is an abusive, terrible person, and yet he's still #2 because of his power. Like, is that okay? Is that fair? Okay, and it's just like very interesting.
I love that. Okay, I've never heard of it. I'm definitely going to check it out. But I do like how our kind of dislike bordering on hatred of The Boys has veered us into all of these more pleasant areas.
honestly, like, I watched My Hero Academia, and then like the pandemic hit, and I didn't watch anything with real people for like 2 years. Like, I was like, I can't take me away from reality. Okay, let's see. I wasn't expecting such a strong mystery aspect, where like, what are they looking for? How many other aliens are there? Like, what was it like balancing that lore, or those lore drops, with the romance? Like, how did you go about that?
Terrible. It was just terrible. I have so many regrets. I don't know what happened. I wrote The Bone King and the Starling, and that book is so simple. And I think it was almost like a reaction to me going absolutely berserk with the world building in this one. And I've also, anyways, keep thinking about Bonkers, because I'm working on edits right now. But yeah, I've also gone completely berserk on that one as well. And I'm like, I need to scale this way back. I don't know. It's an accidental, unfortunate, sometimes fun aspect of my writing that I go crazy with world building.
I also find that it can depend on the editor I'm working with too, because I'll like throw something out there, and like a good editor will be like, well, like Manu will be like, Katie, here's a bullet pointed list of questions I have about this world. And I'll be like, oh, I guess I gotta tell you about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wyvern, is that how you say that? I just realized I've never said it aloud. Okay. Will he get another rebrand, or maybe he fits the dragonish aesthetic now, or maybe he better fits the dragonish aesthetic?
Yeah, exactly. Now. It was kind of like a heavy-handed foreshadowing there with that one.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah. My foreshadowing, no one ever called me subtle.
And so, and the last one is, I really enjoyed the superhero to alien turn. Like, how did you come up with like it being alien specifically? And again, what inspired it?
Yeah, I went through like I even asked my husband for his ideas, and that's never happened before. And he came up with all kinds of outlandish things, like a hospital that like had a poison in it, and all the babies born at the same time were had powers or something. And I was like, that was probably the leading contender for an idea, but it didn't work with with like the no memory thing. Like I needed them to somehow get to adulthood without this memory,
like knowing their true origin.
Yeah, and I could like activate this like fated mates thing. Plus I had like, I maybe watched too much Marvel, but like the idea of like a Thanos or like kind of an elder type situation sitting up there lording over it all. Just there's just so much potential in that. So yeah, and so it ended up
like, I mean, I think that there's also a lot of canon in various like Marvel and DC and beyond of like superheroes having alien origins. Like there's a lot of them, so I think that like perfectly yeah.
Superman's an alien. Like yeah, I mean there's a lot of aliens, so it made sense to me that aliens wouldn't look like people. And I'm deep in my monster era now, so they needed to be monsters.
We love to see it, and I'm so excited because the monster, and especially in your hands, like I trust you implicitly, like when it comes to
like the deepest compliment. Thank you.
Well, like, I mean, I didn't really like alien romance as a general whole because most of the ones I picked up like veer into tropes that I just the authors very rarely intend for it, but like yours was just so like refreshing and like, oh my god, yeah, like of course it's not like the noble savage, it's a really like maybe there's some cultural like disconnect there, but like it was just so like I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty tricky. It's hard not to veer into like the yeah, like orcs is probably kind of the one where I'm like the most like afraid. Like if I go into an orc romance, it's pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But there's also like a lot of like alien cowboys, which are
a little on the nose.
Right. It's a
very
little
like and it's just
anyways, I wouldn't have thought to do some of those things, so I'm glad that what comes naturally to me is not, which I mean kind of obviously probably wouldn't just because of my own background. But yeah, I do really appreciate that, and I love writing aliens. I think they're a lot of fun. And yes, definitely read Venomous by Penelope Fletcher, and then read His Declaim by Theodora Taylor Vaughn, which is a collaboration between Eve Vaughn and Theodora Taylor.
I love Theodora,
which is like
Taylor
very
stuff.
Dark.
For
like some not so nice women situations. Gender-based violence is a big theme in that book. But yeah, I also love Captive of the Horde King by Zoe Draven.
Everyone has been talking about that book, and I still have not read. Well, I'm in my nonfiction mode right now because I'm in a horrible book slump. But I've had no less than 6 people separately, like completely unconnected, talking about Zoe Draven, and just like, oh my god, I inhaled like that entire series or that book specifically or whatever.
Yeah.
So clearly I need to read it.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
All right, folks, any last questions? I realize this has been a half an hour, not an hour, but you know what? We're succinct.
Oh my gosh. I'm just it's I don't know if you guys can hear the pure carnage going on in my house right now. So it's never a bad thing for me to keep things shorter rather than on the longer side.
When this will whenever it's done processing, however that works on YouTube, it'll be up. So like people, if they miss it, can come check out the answers and the chaos and the good times. And the next book drops November 25th. So it'll be a perfect time for like if you celebrate American Thanksgiving and want to get away from your family, maybe take a cousin's walk and read a book. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. Do exactly that, because that's probably what I'll be trying to do.
Same,
if I can escape all of my tiny humans. So
right.
There's only 2, but I feel like there's like 40 that live in my house.
When they're little, though, they like are exponentially more. When there's more than even one's a lot, but like what 2 is like a horde. Like
my cousin has 3, and I'm like, that must be like 80 people that live in your house. I don't understand.
Especially 3, like
3 under 5,
together.
Right?
Oh, sorry, visceral response. I have 3, but my older 2 are like 10 years between them and my youngest, and so it was very civilized overall. Once he came, we don't have to talk about how it was when they were born.
Right. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Okay,
your
sweet.
Hair looks fantastic, by the way. Last time I saw you, your hair was a totally different color. I can't remember what it was now, though.
It was green, and I went from green to orange, and it somehow worked out. It shouldn't have.
Right.
My hair just wants to be like pink adjacent, and it defies chemistry and probably biology.
It is truly fantastic.
Thank you. All right, y'all, we'll see you. And I think it might kick us both out when I end stream. So if it does, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, really, thank you so much for having me. I really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you guys for having mercy on me and keeping it to half an hour. My husband is fighting a 3-month-old in the background.
Oh, go give the baby loves.
Oh my gosh, really? Not like I haven't been doing that all day.
Right, of course. Yeah. All right, goodbye.
Thank you so much, Katie. Really appreciate it.
Oops. Push the button. Oh.